Welcome back to live coverage of YCS Ghent. Thanks for coming back. Right now we have the round 7 match, which is going to be sure to be an interesting one. Having two players you probably have been familiar with, maybe seen them before, different regions, Spain and Germany, who knows, And it'll be from the left corner, the blue side. Come on in. Eduardo.
Hello.
Hey. So, you've been on the other side of the booth. You've done a bit of coverage already. What's the experience been like for you?
Well, I want to keep rolling in this tournament, doing great, represent my country because I am a really patriotic person. That's all.
Okay. All right. So then you just, came to the event. You thought, I want to probably go to Ghent, play a little bit, represent my country, have a bit of fun. How's the other rounds been going for you so far? How has the whole event till now been going?
I think the deck is doing good. I test a lot, and well, here is the final countdown.
Okay, the final count. All right, that's pretty good. You can take a seat, Ed. And now on my red side, most of you are familiar with him already. Man, best boy, Joshua Schmidt. No, just joshing with you. We talked to you a bit about it before. You've sort of been on the back burner a bit with Yu-Gi-Oh! Being mostly playing YCS and stuff like that. You came to this one, I guess probably chilling out, having a good time, taking in the sights and enjoying yourself. How has your deck been doing for you?
It's been doing well for me so far. I've only lost one of my worst matchups. All the matchups that I think I'm supposed to win, I did well in. It's a deck I know pretty well, and I'm confident with it. I think it's a good deck, even though I didn't prepare as much as I wanted to, just because other things have been more important lately. But it's all good. Yeah.
Okay, so then you think, with the new Worlds race starting up, YCSs are going to be popping up all over, Milan, London, and stuff like that. Do you think that this is a good start-off point to say, you know what, I want to play a bit more Yu-Gi-Oh! This year, maybe try to get back into it, see how I feel, or no?
There's not much more Yu-Gi-Oh! Than what I played the last couple seasons. I'm actually going to step down a little bit and not do the Worlds race this year. Just enjoy playing YCSs again, not under any pressure for points or anything, just enjoying the game for what it is and not stress myself too much.
Okay, so keeping yourself dedicated to the game and the love of the game itself is a pretty cool thing to that's a very honorable thing. So you can take a seat. So before the match begins, we'll have both players roll a dice. So of course, put on your headphones and stuff before we're ready to go. So that's a 2 and a 4. Okay. So you could put on your headgear, and then we'll be on the way. Okay. So that's from my side. Off to our casters.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the round 7 featured match. I'm joined by Marcello for this round, and we have the man, the myth, the legend. We have Joshua Schmidt, 3 times world's competitor for the featured match, actually stating that he's stepping down a little in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Still making it to our featured match area because he's X1 in the tournament.
Absolutely. There are very few tournaments where you will not find a feature match with him in. Usually we tend to pick him in the later rounds because you don't want to sound too cocky, but we are guaranteed to see him on the later stages. Of course. But this time we decided to pick him just because they are both playing decks that we have not seen too much of.
Absolutely.
Joshua's in particular. So as he is saying, he didn't have too much time to test. So it doesn't come to me as a surprise that he picked the same deck that he ran at the World Championship just about a month ago. We're talking about Pure Thunder Dragon.
It is.
For the World Championship, of course, it was a different complete deck.
because Colossus is at 1.
It seemed like a weird choice to actually play Pure Thunder at World Championship, right? Because of one Colossus.
It was definitely surprising, but it worked out pretty well for him and his friends. Like basically all of Team Europe played it. Like him, Jonas, and also Herman were all using it. And one of them made it to the top cut. Unfortunately, both Jonas and Joshua came like very close, like
9th and 10th or so, right?
and 11th,
really
something like
close.
that. But again, here, new cars, new Forbidden List, but still Pure Thunder, one of the best decks. So
I think it's kind of interesting because that version of Pure Thunder basically was around like a year ago. YCS London or so, and now it is really relevant again. It's interesting.
I find it very amusing. The reason being, I think it's the new team promos mostly. So Nibiru is in particular a great addition, but it is what really changed because we saw in the past months Thunder Dragon being the guard dragon, Crusadia. With Nibiru around, you can't really afford that. So instead, Joshua decided to actually main Nibiru, which is surprising.
It's interesting.
And probably the most unique thing about his deck list, I would say. It's working out for him. The rest of his deck is really standard. I liked it, and I actually was just preparing as usual for the event, and it was one of the decks I played the most. So I thought
it's super consistent as well, right?
Exactly. And you were mentioning like maybe he got it right again just because of the deck breakdown.
Exactly,
so, as we saw in the deck breakdown, Sky Striker, even if barely, is still the most played deck for this event.
Which was surprising a little. Both of us were surprised by that, but Joshua saw it coming as he always does.
Exactly. So Thunder Dragon, especially this version, is very good against that deck. And as Joshua mentioned, in his favorable matchups, he said he didn't really struggle.
Played some,
But here, actually, though, he's up against Eduardo, who is not playing a favorable matchup. He's on Pendulum, and he just won the die roll as well, which is huge.
It is.
Can Joshua draw the Nibiru? And even if he does, can Eduardo not put up a negation first? Because
Jackal King is around,
Exactly.
So I would say, let's see that in the featured match. Go over to the table. There we have them, and let's see the hand of Eduardo, who will be going first. He has Cerberus, double Cerberus, which is not too good because you can only resolve one.
But at least he has the Allure of Darkness to deal with it, and I think the rest of his hand is incredible.
Oh yeah, it is.
And Joshua only has the Phantasme in his hand to try and fish for the Nibiru specifically, I would say. But maybe it is too late at that point.
And also he has like a lot of Thunder monsters. He has double Raw and Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, he can trigger the Dark, but that really doesn't bring him forward anyhow. So
yeah, I mean, you probably just do it in case it gets your percentage of getting an matchup just slightly better, but very good hand from Eduardo. Pendulum, one of those decks that really doesn't get too popular, I would say. But
it never gets old though, right? It always is a Pendulum player at the top tables, topping the YCS, and you're like, oh yeah, Pendulum is still a deck. And it doesn't really change. Like, the version of Eduardo is pretty basic, I would say. He's still playing the Apex Avians, for example. He's playing the Mythical Beasts who have been around forever. He's playing Harmonizing. He's playing all the good cards, basically.
And to be honest, Apex is also not like something we see a lot in Pendulum anymore. And I think it is one of the reasons why he's having success, because it plays around Nibiru. Usually you don't like make the 5 summons before. So if you Pendulum summon and either have a Jackal or an Apex, then you can negate it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he actually, with the Allure, draw into 2 ways to get Dark Worm, to get his God Dragon combos going. He had Shrine and the hard draw of Dark Worm. So you had to decide, what am I going to do? But you always want to use your normal summon if you can with Pendulums. So you can use the Pendulum summon more effectively then.
And now, as predicted, he's going to keep the Jackal there. So he's going to play around. It makes Joshua Phantasme completely useless, which is a huge deal. And something also very interesting about Eduardo's deck is that he's just playing a lot of one-offs, because Electromite is able to just send whatever piece you need. You usually
just search
see
it out, basically.
But like usually, for example, the Harmonizing you see 3 of. He's just playing the 1. So
that's really interesting. And also, I was kind of confused. He's playing Dragon Pit Magician and also the Garuda. So he's actually really playing cards versus Mystic Mine. He's really playing back row removal a lot. The Dragon Pit and the Garuda as well. Garuda not really popular in Pendulum decks lately. Like maybe in Pure Endymion Mythical Beast decks.
Yeah,
but of course it can just pop one spell or trap card on the field when it destroys itself in the scale, like all the other mythical beasts.
And when you play Cerberus, having more access to it is really good.
It's searchable. That's so good.
I like his decision, and we saw a few Mystic Mind decks at the event. So
Definitely. That could be a good choice, especially all the Sky Striker decks at least side Mystic Mine a lot, so that decision could work out. And see Joshua, he's kind of bored. He even helps Eduardo putting the dice to 6 counters. And
yeah, to be honest, there is not much you can do at this point.
Not a whole lot of joy for him right there, that's true. Joshua knows how that end board will be looking, and in round 7 of the YCS, you can expect your opponent to actually make full use out of his combo, so we will see the end board. And how will it look like? I think we see the Sphere, the Hieratic Seal will be on the field because you do God Dragon stuff. And what kind of negates does he get out?
So you usually get the Vortex out, and on top of that, it depends if he knows what his opponent is playing, which could also be possible, just because Joshua is such a popular player. Like
if you see him at the top tables, you just scout his deck, right? What is he playing?
So if you do know what you're... Because this deck has the option to also go for like a Beast Dweller if you know you're playing against Orcust. In this case, I would say, as you were saying, Erratic Link and then just use the Servant if you can get enough spells would be cool as well. So that's already really good, because to be fair, Thunder Dragon is a good deck because of its consistency, but not really because he can break through boards. Like, I don't say...
Definitely not. It is able to break boards, but not like multiple negate boards.
Yeah, and usually when it does, it involves having spell cards.
Yeah.
And at the moment, Joshua has no spell in his hands.
Not a single one, that's true.
Something that I think could have been decent from Joshua, even though you would expect your opponent to know what they're doing. Maybe I would have liked to, once the Juggle was on the field, just to try and bait it with the Dark. Because like maybe your opponent just says, okay, I want to get the +1, and then you Phantasm me. Like, it's a dream word, but at the same time, why not? Because now if you do, you can't even Dark, because now they're going to negate it.
That's right.
So,
because you have odd eyes on the field as well, which can, then it's just an easy
so I think that
negate.
Could have been a cool thing from Joshua. Nothing too impactful.
Oh, look, let's see pass. He passes on Jackal King, Dawn Dragster, and Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. That's quite a bit of negates. He wasn't able to actually use the Servant in the scale, so that would have been another spell negate. Oh, and it's Fusion, so Joshua now has a spell card which could have been negated by the Endymion.
Yeah, unfortunately though, he doesn't have anything else that can bait the Dragster, so let's see if he can fight this. So
I think it looked for a second that he's considering to scoop, just looking at his whole hand, saying, how can I break through that? And he probably goes through in his mind, okay, this card baits out this negate, this card baits out this negate probably. Do I still have anything to play with them? Yeah,
that's like a big consideration, because if your opponent does not know what you're playing, then preventing information is crucial, but...
Absolutely.
You could try here, like, what I'm thinking is, you can prevent one of the negations just from, like, your chain links. You forced the Erratic here already, so... it's definitely not impossible, but it's going to be very hard.
Yeah. What do you think about the decision that people are now playing Aloof Lupine over the Battery Man Solar? A lot of people have been cutting the Solar completely, as Joshua did actually.
Yeah, I do like it mostly because it's... Oh, this is also surprising. Okay, so Eduardo negates it. I do like it just because it plays a lot better against Nibiru. That's the main reason. Like, Solar is probably more impactful, but it loses to Nibiru, and at the same time, Aloof makes like the worst ends better. So if you only have the original Thunder Dragon or the Matrix, it gives you access to them, while with Battery Man, you would probably just end on one Colossus.
Yeah, and also like, banishing as a cost is pretty good with Aloof, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely secure that you banish one of your Thunder Dragon monsters and trigger their effects. That can be really good.
Indeed.
Oh, Joshua really taking his time to figure out what to do here. Looks like he banished Roar.
Yeah, from my understanding, Aloof Lupine was negated, so now he gets to add back the Roar, and then he resolves the Roar, which is also kind of a surprise of like negating the Aloof there. I mean, you do prevent the chain block, at least, but...
But that Aloof is not really
a threat,
so scary on the field, right? It doesn't really matter. I mean, it could be used for actually making another Colossus, but all the other, the Matrix on field does the same thing, basically. So not much of a difference, because Aloof doesn't have a lot of attack points as well.
So now the Dark comes down, and Eduardo is gonna allow it, which seems tough for Joshua, because what I'm thinking is, if he goes here for the first Colossus or like a Link Rib or whatever to just force the Euratic, then without his normal summon, the only play he has this Diffusion, which is gonna get negated by the Dragster. So
It has to be, definitely.
it's tough. Definitely tough.
Looking at the list of Joshua, he actually is maxing out on basically all of the Thunder Dragon cards.
Yep.
For a while, especially in the combo builds, of course, that was like, yeah, the Thunder Dragon cards aren't actually that good in the Thunder Dragon combo decks, and you did not really want to draw them. But he really maxes out on them, and his starting hand showed that. He like drew all of the Thunder cards, and pure Thunder really is pure Thunder again, it feels like.
Yep. Also, we didn't mention it yet, but something very interesting about Eduardo's deck is that he plays multiple targets for the Euratic Link in his deck.
Ooh,
so
tell us, which are these?
Yeah, he has the Ether, which is obviously able to banish a monster from your opponent, which makes the Euratic Link basically one more interruption.
Yeah.
And he also has a few other options. So he's not playing any Amorphage though, which could be crucial in the Lunalight matchups.
That's true.
Let's see if he does have the Ether. Here, not going to be super relevant, of course. So.
There's nothing to banish on Joshua's side anymore, true. But the only other play that Joshua now has is the Fusion. I mean, he can use Hawk. Oh no, does he even have Hawk? No, he has not Hawk.
No, that's why. If he had the Hawk, he could try.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is now he only has the Fusion, the Dragster is there, so I don't really see how he can fight through this. So maybe Eduardo decision, although Brave to negate the Aloof, turned out...
it is pretty good, and Joshua sees that as well.
Joshua has seen enough, so he picks up his cards, and we're going to go to game 2 very soon.
Yeah, and speaking of the prediction factor of Joshua, like he predicted a lot of Sky Striker. That's why he probably chose to go with Thunder. And his side deck kind of says that as well, because on top of his already good matchup, he's actually siding Twin Twisters and Cosmic Cyclone, both of it, which worked out pretty well so far. And let's see what we have in this matchup, because would you side in Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twister versus the Pendulum deck going first?
It's tough, honestly. It's not something you really want to do.
Yeah.
I think Joshua didn't expect, like I can bet on it that Pendulum wasn't on top on his mind when thinking about this, which you can really see when you take a look at his side deck, even going into game 2 or 3. Like now, unfortunately, you gotta admit that it is kind of a die-rolling matchup, because Colossus alone is very annoying. Like you have a lot of search spells in Eduardo's deck, like all of the Endymion engine and the Supreme King engine, they all search, so Colossus is very annoying alone.
That's true, that's true.
And it will be a close one. I don't think you need to side too much if you're going first.
That's right, yeah. But I mean, there's no really... Do you want to board out Phantasme going first, maybe?
Probably it might make sense to side those in, but
and then to go with Twin Twisters. Like the rest of his side deck is not really impactful. You could go with Ghost Spell going second, I guess. He's boarding Ghost Spell, and then you can just throw it on the Supreme King.
It's a decent outcome, but we might just see the Twin Twisters really, because it does make sense. You know that your opponent is probably not going to side any form of removal for your back rows.
True.
Talking of Eduardo, though, instead, he seems like he's more prepared. He has Lava Golem, which does it surprise you at all that it's Lava Golem instead of Sphere mode, or what do you think?
I mean, we just saw him normal summoning his Supreme King Dragon Worm, so he makes use of his normal summon.
But the thing is, you still can't normal summon even with Lava Golem.
You're right.
So
you're right. It doesn't make a difference at all. So I'm pretty surprised, to be honest. Maybe he really wanted to have that burn damage in his deck somehow.
I mean, possible. It seems like it could make a difference against decks that end on only 2 monsters compared to 3, but I can't really think of it.
Maybe?
Or like maybe the Cyber Dragon if they try and play around stuff, but it seems definitely odd. And we'll see if that comes back to punish him. So,
I mean, for example, versus the Lunalight August deck, which really is popular, it just seems way better to side the Sphere mode, because they will always on 3 monsters, basically, if they play out their combo correctly.
I mean, I guess maybe in this matchup you will prove us wrong, because if Joshua is trying to play around Nibiru,
maybe actually versus Thunder exactly,
it
might be good. Yeah, you're right.
And we could see actually Joshua playing around Sphere mode and losing to Lava Golem, which would be just hilarious.
That would be insanity for sure. And look at Eduardo. He again picks up 2 cards you don't want to pick up with each other. Last time it was double Master Cerberus. This time it's double Desires.
Yep.
The rest of his hand is all right, though. He has Garuda to get rid of the Twin Twister from Joshua. That's a good one already.
Surprised he kept it in, honestly. Like,
you don't expect that much back row from a Thunder Dragon player.
yeah, and
first.
especially because like if you're really afraid of any random trap in Joshua's deck, you can't really expect to be able to search it with Cerberus either, because they should have like a Colossus. So
yeah, that's true.
this hand from Joshua Joe is fantastic. He has whatever he needs. Like as long as you have an Aloof plus one of the good Thunder Dragons, you can do a lot. And Desires plus Twister on top. Like,
that's just the icing on the cake with the Desires. Yeah, some +1, and yep, he will be able to resolve that. But maybe he actually kept the Garuda in because he had to side out on so many searching cards he's playing in the main deck, and he does not want to have them in the main deck when he's playing with his Thunder. And as we can see, Joshua definitely will be ending on at least 1 Colossus, potentially 2, maybe 3, or he plays around his Sphere mode that is not there. And then 6 card for Eduardo with Lava Golem. That would be interesting.
he has a lot of options, and here again, we will see if Joshua wants to play around Nibiru as well. So right now he's still at 3 summons, so let's see.
And did I just see Eduardo stating 3 summons, 4 summons? Bro, you're under the counter, the final countdown.
I do not like it, to be honest, because if you really had the Nibiru, there is no way you would do such a thing. So maybe Joshua, I saw a little bit of a smile from Joshua. I think he
maybe
might
it's a mind game. You actually,
Could be.
That could be true. That Joshua is now thinking he definitely does not have a Nibiru. That's pretty cool, actually.
I think so. Honestly, I think there is no way your opponent would do such a thing. So I think Joshua will now more likely go into a Link if he feels like it. Let's see. So, but I mean, your opponent could also just double mind game you there as well.
I mean, you would have to be very, very confident in yourself. You could just pull that off on stream, being like, yeah, I'm bluffing Nibiru when having it in hand. That's really, really cool.
So Joshua keeps his nerves. He doesn't go for like playing through Nibiru. And here we can see that Lava Golem would have been better. So maybe Eduardo knows something that we don't.
Absolutely. And Eduardo picked up Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic, as his 6 cards. That does not help him too much. But we see Garuda being able to pick up the Twin Twisters. And Joshua shaked his head. He's like, you're really Captain Garuda versus me. Please don't do that to me.
It's very, very tough if you're Joshua. Like, I mean, it could have gone worse, but really, if you're Joshua, you do not expect Garuda to be captain against yourself. And you can see he's not happy because now he doesn't have any interruptions. Like, the Colossus is all he has.
Yeah, and Dragon Shrine is a starter into his God Dragon combos already. You will have access to that, Dark Wound. Oof. You can see that Joshua isn't too happy. And Eduardo, or for example, Pendulums have always been a deck that can actually play through boards that are just contending of monsters. If they have back row, it's kind of getting struggly. If you have to play a Solemn Strike, for example, and that just gets thrown on your Pendulum summon, you're very unhappy about that.
And he has the Chronograph as well, which is just great. Now he can go for Electrum before the normal summon, so
he's in a super good position right there.
Yeah. Pot of Desires is there, so this is looking very good for Eduardo. Like, even need to get like unbelievably unlucky with the draws from Desires, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because as long as you get a scale, you can do the full Guard Dragon combo and just probably even OTK. Because
I can see Boris Sword coming down in this game.
Exactly. Because what I was about to say is the cool thing about the Guard Dragon Pendulum deck is that if you go first, then you just make negations. But if you go second, like you can summon Boris Word and Borderload.
He just drew into Lava Golem now, so that makes it a lot easier. Wow. And it comes in handy right here. Yeah. Joshua sitting there with
double Lava Golem though.
Both of them even.
Wait, that could be actually what he didn't want to draw.
Oh, right, both of them. Now he has no scales to work with.
Because,
he could be out of scales, true. He won't be able to get 2 scales out.
He has to rely on the draw from the Electromite. This is actually very tough from Eduardo.
But then still he has to pop the Endymion, so okay, he can he can take back the Endymion.
He has to get, like, it depends what he's trying to go for here.
And now the decision probably is, do you actually get back a low scale or a high scale and hope for the other one to be drawn?
The thing is also, if you go for a lot, because I was thinking, A play is also get back the Dark Worm because you have a normal and then go for it.
Oh, yeah.
But
true.
you can't do that and Lava Golem as well. So it's
Oh.
like, it's very gimmicky, but this is like very unfortunate. Like literally in 3 cards, because he has a second Desire and double Lava Golem. If any of those 3 cards was a scale, this game would be over on the spot.
Absolutely.
But now he has to try and get lucky.
Oh, and look, he takes back the Endymion, and what is he drawing? It
he
depends
needs to
on
get
that.
a scale.
He hasn't shown any emotion in his face yet.
Can he pick it
He
up?
goes for the Lava Golem first. We don't see it yet. It is Duelist Alliance.
Oh my god, that's
That is
insane.
just the best draw
Oh
ever.
my god, what a draw. If he didn't banish like both Pendulum calls, this is gonna be insane.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, I can't believe this draw
there
from
it is.
him.
Duelist Alliance, and look, Joshua
Unbelievable.
is scratching his head a little, and there is the Pendulum call. Joshua
wow.
can probably see it coming
Wow,
here.
like he needs a miracle. Like unless this Desire banished all of the magicians, this is gonna be insane.
He can decide on discarding Desires or Lava Golem. Both cards not useful in this turn anymore.
Okay, that's a high skill. Does he have a low skill in the deck? Maybe he doesn't.
What is
He
that?
does, he does. It's the Dragon
Oh,
Color
it
Magician.
is, it is.
And the Harmonizing. This is gonna be just an easy game for Eduardo. And what a turn of events, wow.
That is perfect. Look at
Here,
that Pendulum summoning.
4 days, he can go again into just the full Guard Dragon combo. And you can see.
Even Bowel Sword alone would be
Yeah.
nearly game right now.
Wow.
That is pretty good for
And,
Eduardo. Showing
again,
what the deck can do.
We proved right now for everyone watching that Lava Golem is better than Sphere Mode. If that was Sphere Mode, he could have not summoned it. So